What's up, family? We're back again with another beautiful episode of Therapeutic Talks, and I'm really excited for this conversation. Today, we're talking about people earning their place in your life because a lot of times they really just they'll sit there in your life and they haven't really earned their spot. But before we get into it, we have a great guest, and we want to introduce you first. We want to let people know your name and why they should know your name.
Okay. Well, hi. Thank you so much
Hi.
for inviting me here. My name is Phyllis Nicole. I am a certified life coach. Health and wellness is my specialty, self-development. So just we all kind of get into those spaces to where we just kind of get stuck and we need guidance. And sometimes some people may kind of just for especially our culture, they kind of are hesitant to traditional counseling. So sometimes a life coach may be the best way to start to introduce those things to you. So that way we're able to just be an advocate for you and just guide you along the process of whatever it might be in life, just relationships. It could be finances, it could be health, it could be career. So that's what a life coach does. So that's
Okay.
why they should know me. And,
Okay. So we're talking about people earn their place in your life. Do you feel like it's important for people to earn that place, or do you feel like they should automatically be granted that as they come in?
no, absolutely, they need to earn that space. Oftentimes, we feel guilt and we feel obligation because they're family or, it could be even if it's like church related or relationships or just other things that they're grandfathered in. That's not how that works.
Okay.
So as you get older and you get mature, you realize that no, it's very important for people to earn their space. And that stems from you actually like self-love, just loving yourself and teaching people how to treat you. Because we've all have experienced dysfunction in our family.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how we all kind of get in the boat together because that's something, whether it's cultural, we've all experienced. So as you get older, I'll just say that, and wiser, no, people have to definitely earn, that spot in your life. They have to appreciate your value, but you have to introduce them to what that value looks like.
Okay. So you're mentioning what the value would look like.
Okay.
What's an example of what someone's values would look like when allowing people to enter their life and stay there?
So when so you respect yourself, right? You love yourself, and everything comes from that place. So then that's where you're able to set up those healthy boundaries. So you're not going to allow anyone to waste your time, disrespect you, talk to you any kind of way. If you are being a person of your word, then they have to also be that too. So and that's just where that is. You cannot disrespect me. You cannot just treat me any kind of way just because we grew up a particular way where
Yeah.
I would just say we're loud talking and just, just saying some just crazy things, to each other, then that's going to continue. Absolutely not. You can't talk to me that way. And you can say it respectfully. It could even be with parents, siblings. You just have to, as you value yourself and you set that bar, you put those boundaries in place and you let them know respectfully that no, you can't talk to me that way. No, you can't come around with that type of energy. And that's just where it is. And you don't have to apologize for that. Like,
Yeah.
say that and stand on it.
Yeah.
You know how we always kind of be like, no, but there is
Yeah.
no but, no conjunction needed. Just say it and let it stay there.
Okay, so boundaries, excuse me, boundaries a lot of times seem like a foreign concept for a lot of people. What does setting boundaries really sound like on a regular conversation? I come to someone and be like, "Hey, I don't like this," or how should someone set boundaries for themselves?
It depends on whatever the context of the conversation may be. So let's just say if it's I'll just say like a sibling. Okay. If you're I'm the younger sibling. So my sister may be in a place to where we're always used to, she's always the leader, and she's always, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I can say to her, oh, I don't want to do that, or I don't
Yeah.
feel like doing that, or I have some other plans. You can come with me. No, I don't want to come this time, but next time, keep me in mind.
Okay.
And that's it. and you just leave it there. Like, you don't have to do it out of obligation. Like, that's that particular setting. If it's in a context of, let's just say, a relationship, and you know how some people in relationships, they might just have some kind of negative tone or when they're speaking. So if they just say like, oh, like, that's stupid. Can you not say that to me? I don't really like when you use terms like stupid. Can we find another word that is more uplifting and let it be there? And then if there's a dialogue that comes from that, then let that play out. But it should always come from a space where, like, you value yourself, you respect yourself. And so that's you setting those boundaries, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So how many times are you giving someone to cross those boundaries to be like, okay, now I can't have you in my life anymore?
So that's up to you. Okay. So I'm a type of person to where, honestly, you get one time with me at this stage in my life, but I'm of a particular age, so I'm over 40. So that over 40, I'm almost up that hill.
You gotta go. Okay.
So it's like you get one time. But other spaces, if you know that their history. So I'll just say, like, if you know, if it's a sibling, so you both grew up in that dysfunctional environment where there was a lot of negativity, maybe abuse, alcoholism, things like that. So maybe you might give them just a little bit more grace to kind of, come accustomed to that change that you have. But then in other spaces, one time. And it's you have that conversation, and then you remove yourself from it. And then you allow them to assess how important the relationship is to them. And then you're able to move forward from there. Reaching out to you, calling you, apologizing, accepting accountability for what they did. If they're not willing to do that, then it's okay to just step away because you tried.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So for the people closest to you, how do you think they've earned their spots in your life? Is it through certain moments? Is it through certain actions that they've shown you, certain words? What is it for you?
Just that, their accountability. We have this thing, like, with my inner circle, like, my close family, friends. We tell each other the truth, even if it hurts. And we're accountable. So even if there are times to where we may have a disagreement, but we're still willing to reach out to each other. And that's the thing. If someone is willing to reach out to you when they may have feel wronged or they have wronged you, then that lets you know that they value you. They value the relationship. They value that friendship. So, that's a good thing. But then others, they won't. Even from a personal standpoint, like, even like my biological father, like, we don't have a relationship, but it's not that I didn't extend that olive branch. All is forgiven. I gave, the opportunity to, hey, like, let's talk. We can spend time together, get to know each other, now. And he chose not to. So it's okay. No hard feelings. I still love him dearly, but it's just that you didn't show that you value the relationship. So it's okay to just, let it be.
Okay. So if someone it shows you that they don't value the relationship, let's say a couple of years down the line, is it possible for them to come back in and earn a spot in your life? Is it way harder for them to earn the spot? How does that look for you?
For me, it just, like, it depends, because forgiveness doesn't always come with reconciliation.
Okay.
You can forgive someone, you can make peace with it, and then life continues. And so for other people, it's just how you would want it to be. It just depends on what the offense was or what the issue was. And if you want to reintroduce, and you can proceed lightly and just kind of give it, I'll just say, like, a grace period. So let's say I'll just say, just giving a timeline, let's say 90 days and see what the pattern of behavior is for 90 days. You can stretch it out to 6 months, a year, however. But it just depends on you, because this is your life. You set the tone for these relationships. But like, for me, it's sometimes we can have those conversations and we can get it out. But, like, again, forgiveness doesn't always come with reconciliation. You can love from a distance is still love.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yep.
I think loving from a distance, it feels like a hard thing to do sometimes, because the people that we love, we usually want them with us, but they have shown us things that makes us not want to, be too close with them. What's an action that has been shown to you to be like, okay, I have to love you from a distance now, and you can't be in my immediate circle anymore?
For me, negativity as a whole. So gossip,
Yeah.
always talking, negative about people, alcoholism, drugs. I mean, just all of those things.
Yeah.
Like just cannot be like in my circle. The circle that I have created is just a circle of just positivity and true support. Not in showing up like on a consistent basis for whatever it might be. If I'm like here doing this podcast, so I have phone calls this morning, good luck, make sure everything's going well, just those types of things. So that's what that looks like. If they're not willing to partake in your lifestyle now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you have to be able to just love them from a distance. Like I said, it's still love, but I can't drink with you. I can't smoke with you. I'm not gonna club with you. Like, I'm 40. Well, I look like going to a club. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, and that's just not the lifestyle anymore. So
Okay.
like, remember, love from a distance is still love.
So if someone comes to you and they tell you they're voicing their displeasures about you loving them from a distance, how they want to come back around you, they want to be around you more, they love your presence, they love your energy. What's that conversation looking like when you're talking to them in regards to that?
I mean, it's just me just letting them know, like, okay, so if you want to come around, like, these are certain things that we can't do. We're not gonna sit here and talk about the town. You know how everybody got where they're from, so we're not about to sit here and talk about what's happening in the town, all the time. Or we're not gonna sit here and just drinking and get wasted. Like, that's just not what we're gonna do. I don't do those things. So are you willing to be in my environment and it just really truly be chill? Like, can you handle that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just pretty much how that conversations look like, because I'm not going to adjust to you. You have to adjust to me.
Exactly.
And that's what that conversations look like. And if that person isn't willing to adjust, because you don't want anyone to feel like uncomfortable inside their skin, just because I'm at a place where I'm confident in me and I'm comfortable inside my skin. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. So then, and that's why I'm asking them like those questions, like, because I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. If this is what you like to do, by all means, you can go ahead and smoke. That's you.
Yeah.
But I don't like that around me. So I don't want you to stop being you, and I don't want to stop being me. Okay. So if you can handle having to adjust you to be around me, well then, okay, fine. If not, then love from a distance is still love.
Okay. Okay. So has there ever been exceptions to certain rules? I know it could be maybe a close friend that you're trying to help get better, or maybe they struggle, someone that struggle with alcohol or something like that. Is there exception to that rule?
Yes, there is. So for me, again, it just looks like, what efforts are they putting forth to show forth their change? Because we do have some, I do have some family members that do struggle with alcoholism. And so we had, we lost someone very significant in our family. So, everyone tried to get together. And so as we're getting together, those habits presented themselves. And again, that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Don't want that around me. And people try to make the adjustment, but again, like, it's hard, for them. So I'm going to continue to be me.
Yeah.
But over time, the separation happened anyway.
Okay.
So sometimes you don't even have to even have that hard conversation, because just your interaction in maybe a family function, or maybe us going to a concert or a comedy show or anything and stuff like that, they're going to see the difference. Yeah. And it's like, man, I don't really feel comfortable around her, so I'm just going to, distance myself. And that's just what it is. So sometimes you may not even have to have that hard conversation. It just, the divide will take place anyway.
Okay. So what does that do to you mentally when you're going through that type of separation with somebody? It could be your best friend from high school or whatever, a close family friend or anything like that. It could be somebody really close to you. What does that do to you mentally when you know the separation is occurring?
For me?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Okay. I mean, but for other people, they might struggle with that because, don't get me wrong, we need each other. Relationships our family, those things and stuff are important.
Yep.
But when you truly love yourself, you value yourself, and your peace becomes priority in your life, you don't really have much thought of it at all. It's just kind of like, oh, you may say a prayer for them, God covered them, and you keep it moving. So it won't have that severe downtime. That recovery is just so much quicker when it's coming from a space where you truly love and value yourself, and you don't feel that dependency upon people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you learn how to value yourself? I know that seems like a really hard thing, and it took me a minute to actually value myself. It took me a while. How do you learn how to value yourself?
Well, you have to sit with yourself. I call it, and one of the things, stuff that I teach, like with my courses and coaching, is doing inventory. So inventory looks like you actually sitting down and assessing everything that has took place in your life. So there's quiet time. So there is no social media. There is no additional phone calls or calling for anyone's advice. It might even look like you having to write some letters to yourself, or maybe to those individuals, stuff that hurt you. So that way you're able to have a clear picture of exactly who you are, because a lot of times the events and things and stuff that has taken place in our lives, we make that who we are.
Okay.
No, that's a moment, that's something that happened to you, but that's not who you are. And then once you're able to separate yourself from those events or those moments, then you can see who you truly are clearly, and you develop your value. So now you realize, okay, I'm not that abuse that happens to me. I don't have to be angry or bitter or mad. I could be at peace. And then you can set up what peace looks like for you. So if it is you becoming more spiritual, going to church or reading certain books or listening to certain podcasts and different things and stuff like that, and then you're able to set up what that value, looks like.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I like that. I like that. So let me ask you this. Have you ever caught yourself trying to earn your spot in someone else's life? And how does that feel when you're on the other side of it, when you're actually trying to get into somebody else's life? You're earning your place, you're earning your spot in their life.
We've all been there. We've all done it. And typically that presents itself a lot of times with either family members or like significant others.
Yeah.
And in those spaces, when it was family members, it's exhausting because you're buying their love,
Wow.
So you're making sure that you get them the biggest gift or the most expensive, and again, exhausting. And you're looking for them to really like have that initial like, yay, like,
Like,
oh my
wow
God, like, that
reaction.
exists. Yeah. And you don't get it. And it cuts those. I'm not even gonna say it cuts. That becomes a wound. And in the space of a relationship, it's that person that will not give you the attention. They don't even have the ability to love you to the same way or capacity that you love them. So you're going overboard again with gifts, calls, showing them like, this is love. Like, I love you. Like, why won't you love me back? And again, it's exhausting. It gives you an empty feeling. And there's no worse a feeling than being in a relationship alone.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and in those instances, it's like you sit back again, do inventory, assess yourself like, man, I must not value myself because clearly they're not going to value me. So why am I allowing this? Why am I allowing this to happen?
Yeah.
And then you can say, oh, well, you know what? Maybe it might be daddy issues. Maybe it might be something, with your mom, or always seeking validation, or it might be coming from rejection. It might be coming from abandonment issues and things and stuff like that. So then you're able to be like, you know what? I'm getting rid of that. And then you can set up those, that whole dynamic of loving yourself and value yourself. So that's why those moments really make you who you truly are, because you're able to pull from them. If you pull from them properly, as in a positive way.
Okay.
And not going to that, woe is me, this always happens to me. Why is this always like this? Why doesn't anyone ever love me the way that I love them? Why do I always have to give? No. Stop those negative thoughts, that negative self-talk, and start talking positive. I just need to get around the right people that love me. When you start to love yourself, that energy becomes contagious.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like that confidence. It's just like this invisible aroma that everybody is attracted to.
All around you.
Yep. And then it's the same thing with the negative. It becomes an aroma, and all these takers become attracted to you. So you have to change it and, shift to the positive.
So how hard is it to shift? It seems like it's not it's not plain and cut, simple. It don't seem too simple to just transition from one to the other. How do you go about that?
So in order to make the transition, okay, you're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like being alone, but you're alone anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then just that word loneliness or being alone, like that's just a moment, So you have to separate yourself. And it doesn't have to be 2 weeks, a month. Like you don't have to give it a time frame. Sometimes I give myself like 24 hours to mourn whatever.
Okay.
And then that next day, you got to shift.
Okay.
And it's all about your mindset. It's everything is in your mind. So you just have to just step back and don't be afraid to be alone. Some people, we hate this word a lot, but to suffer. Suffering looks different. Like people think the suffering is always something painful, something. No, it's purging.
Yeah.
So it's okay to purge. It's okay to pluck some things away. And you have to do that sometimes alone. And you may even have to sometimes develop a circle. Like everyone has a particular place in your life. I'm just saying, like your mother might be a person that you can purge with, but your father may not be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It don't make that sense. You ain't got to do. So, but mom might be like, no, it's okay. Go ahead and cry. Cause like crying, like I said, is just crying to me is just like taking your soul through a laundromat.
Yeah.
It cleanses you. You have to get it out. Express that, what, this did hurt me. I did value that person. I did thought they were going to be there for the long haul, And if not, take that deep breath, release it, center yourself, and then you're able to move forward.
Okay. So you mentioned being alone and loneliness. Yeah, the word itself has such a negative connotation to it, and people often mistake it for, oh, you're in a bad spot, you're in a negative space in your life, but it can become such a positive thing. And what have you learned about being alone, about having your lonely times, or just overall just being in the midst of being alone? What have you learned?
I got my power. I found who I truly was, because we don't realize how society, social media, even our inner circle, family, friends, it could be whatever organization you be a part of, sorority, church, whatever, how all those entities play a part, with developing or who you are.
Okay.
No, it's when you're alone that you really have time to sit with yourself and then do that inventory. And those lonely moments, like I said, you develop your power. You begin to look at yourself in a different, like, wait a minute. I actually did that. I'm just saying, if you're involved with something, I'm saying building something, like when you develop this concept, right? Where did you do it? Were you with a group of people? Or was it a thought that came to you when you were by yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's that's that space of loneliness. Yeah. No, you get your ideas, you pull, and any person that you, Oprah, Bill Gates, they always talk to you about how they got quiet. Michael Bay, how they all just got quiet and then just wrote Transformers and got all these, it's that quiet space. You don't need that outside noise we think we do. No, when you're alone or you're in your lonely stage, that's where you build. I build my credit alone.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yep. I build my bank account alone.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So same thing, your creativity, who you truly are, all that stuff is going to come from a place where there's no noise. And it always pulls from within you. That's that lonely time. So let's make it a necessary thing versus it being a negative thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
alone, loneliness, it just means it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's not negative.
Okay. Okay. So
Right.
negative, being negative, that's something that is so hard to break out of. It feels like it's just an ongoing cycle until you find your way out of the maze, essentially, right? What's a way that people can find their way out of negativity and find a way to positivity?
Okay. So it's intentional. You have to be intentional about it. So years ago, I'll say like in I think it was like 2014, 2015, I was around a very negative group of people. And it literally sounded like nails on a chalkboard. I mean, everything. It could be this right here. Oh man, he crazy. He about to do no podcast. That's stupid. Why is he? You know, I mean, I'm just like, why is that always?
Yeah.
And it's like everywhere. So what I had to do, I literally looked up the definition of negative, looked up the definition of positive. I got positive quotes. I posted them everywhere. I did a challenge on social media. It was a stay positive challenge. So every single day I posted something positive. I looked up different quotes from, different poets, authors, Gandhi, just everything. I surrounded myself because you literally have to reprogram yourself because we don't realize that we are consumed with negativity. So it's intentional. You have to be intentional. It's going to take time. You have to take that moment to breathe because whenever someone presents something to you and you want to just come at them, you just have to really take that breath.
Yeah.
And it allows you to pull from that space. But you have to fill that container, with positivity. So every single day, it's intentional. And I mean every single day. Make that the first thing that you see. Is something positive, whether it's a scripture, whether it's a quote, whether it's if you set your alarm and it's a motivational speech that's playing in the background versus that with the alarm. You have to be intentional about it because a lot of us, again, we grew up in those environments where we are saturated with negativity, all this dysfunction, negative self-talk and just negative talk, period. So it takes intention in order to change it.
Okay. Okay. So, like we said, negative people, they're like nails on chalkboard, right? You hear it's loud, it's all over. Have you had constantly negative people try to come in your life and try to earn a spot in your life, and you're like, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
When you make the transition, they're going to repel you, and you're going to repel them. I mean, that it's literally like that. Like when you are a positive person, everything for you is rainbows and lollipops, and for them it's just fire and hell and brimstone. They're going to repel you. You can't even be in the same environment. You'll become that. Oh, you think you all that? You think you know? Because that's what it is. No, but well, yes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, but I never said that to you. But you feel that way because my positivity makes you uncomfortable.
Yep.
So you're not going to get as many likes on Facebook. You're not going to get as many, on Instagram. It'll be people who don't know you. That'll be the ones that will support you and gravitate towards your energy. You'll find your tribe that way.
Yeah.
But never, ever has it been now at this stage of my life that a negative person tries to get their earn their spot in my life. My radar is so far up. That boundary is set so high. You can't even penetrate it.
Okay.
Even if you tried.
Okay. Okay. So this has been a beautiful conversation. I love every turn we took in it, even when we're deviating from what we're talking about. I love how we come back to it. I love this whole conversation.
Good.
What would be the last things you want to tell the beautiful people at home about earning your place in their life and people trying to earn their place in your life?
I would say to love yourself. And you have to decide what that looks like for you. You have to be able to set those boundaries, let your no be no, and let it be that. Be intentional about the relationships that you're setting up. Be intentional about how you want people to love you. Be intentional about teaching people how to treat you. And you have to outline that. You can be and be respectful with it. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be loud with that. It could be if you're with your parents, with your, significant others, even in a marriage setting, if you need to just kind of redefine how things and stuff look in that context as well, just be intentional about it. And again, always pull from that positive space. Again, be intentional about it. I can't say that enough. This transition, when it comes to setting those healthy boundaries, is going to pull from a place of intention. And if you keep that in mind, then you're on the right track.
Okay. I hope you all enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. I'm very grateful that we got to talk about this and just dive deeper into it, because I feel like it's not talked about enough, and I'm glad we were able to shine a light on it. Can you tell the people where they can find you at online?
Okay. So on Facebook, I have a page. It's Phyllis Nicole Inc. You can also email me if you need to. It's Coach Phyllis Nicole, PhyllisNicole. And because I'm rebranding right now, so on Instagram, I just started as Coach Phyllis Nicole as well. So just, go ahead on and hit that like button and, and we on the right direction.
Okay. The link to all her socials will be in the description of this video. You guys, please check her out. We're on the road to 500 subs, so don't forget to sub. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe again, share the video, do whatever you need to do. Let's go ahead and get to 500 subs. We appreciate y'all for sitting down and partaking in this beautiful episode of Therapeutic Talks, and we're going to see you guys next week. To the pen, cause I wasn't taking all my medicine.